the trajectory of a person's life, you can make a very good prediction of what it might be like just by looking at the 5 people they surround themselves with.
Welcome to Mother-Daughter Connections, the show dedicated to educating, encouraging, and equipping moms to build lasting, meaningful connections with their daughters. I'm your host and mother-daughter relationship personal trainer, Dr. Michelle Deering. My heart is to be of help to you. I believe that your relationship with your mom is the foundation for your future success, personally, parentally, and professionally. Now remember, even though I'm a licensed psychologist, I'm not your shrink on this show. I am, however, here to share my opinions and those of my guests. If you have concerns about your mental health, please seek services from a mental health provider in your local area. Now join me as we pause to consider today's topic. Has your daughter stopped talking to you the way she used to? Well, that could be for any number of reasons. Maybe something was said or not said, or maybe something was done or not done, or maybe you both just got your wires crossed. Whatever the reason, there are definite research-based principles that you can use to get your daughter talking to you again. And I've put those principles in my Get Your Daughter Talking Now online course. It's a self-paced, 3-module step-by-step program that you can use to fix the lines of communication between you and your daughter, regardless of her age. Just go to www.getyourdaughtertalkingnow.com to start rebuilding your relationship today. And if you've already purchased the program, awesome. Just make sure that you share the link with your mom friends so that they can get in on the healing. The link again is www.getyourdaughtertalkingnow.com. Now let's hop into today's episode.
Well, hi there and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today, and especially given that it's summertime, whether you're out on the beach or out by a lake or doing errands or going to an event with your kids, I'm so glad to be part of your motherhood journey. So the last couple of times that we were together, I've been talking about the topic of dating because often I've had moms come to me saying, Dr. Deering, my daughter just asked me, can she date so-and-so? Or they'll ask me, when's the appropriate time for a daughter to start dating? Or I don't know what I'm doing, or I just found out that she's been dating behind my back. All those kinds of things are things that moms have told me over the years, and I just wanted to just enter in with you a little bit here in this format to just kind of let you know you're not by yourself. We've all been there. And the last 2 times that we were together, the first time was a couple of weeks ago where I gave you 4 questions to ask yourself just to kind of help you get your bearings on this topic. And then last week, I shared with you 4 things to kind of make sure that you pause to consider and assess about your daughter, just to make sure that she's ready or not ready to enter into that aspect of life. So today, I just want to talk about the love interest. All right. The person that your daughter is interested in dating. And when I was thinking about this and when I've thought about it in the past, but I was reflecting on it differently this time around because our daughters are now out of college and doing really well. They've gone through their own instances and experiences. And I've always had thoughts about, who it is that they would end up with or enter into a dating relationship with. And so I wanted to kind of share with you that it's really important that at the end of the day, what makes for a really good, healthy dating relationship is how well the 2 people are friends. Others might have different opinions. That's my opinion. But a friendship is something that is foundational for any kind of romantic relationship. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the love, and the ooey gooey eyes. And yes, that is all part of it. But if you don't like each other, if you're not friendly with each other, if you're not kind with each other, it's just going to tear away at the love. So today, I want to share with you some thoughts about you getting a sense of what kind of friend that love interest is to your daughter, because it will help shape the conversation that you have with her about it. And if she doesn't know the answers to these questions, then that's either an area to be concerned about or at least an area for where more homework needs to be gathered and information needs to be gathered about said love interest. So the first thing that you want to help her get stock of is, what kind of family connections does this love interest have with their own family? All right. How connected are they? Because how they get along with their family members, or the way in which they interact with their family members in terms of their connection, is going to either directly or indirectly filter in and factor into how that love interest is interacting with your daughter. Second thing you want to help her get a handle on, and for the two of you to discuss, is how much does that love interest respect her and your rules? Respect. I love Aretha Franklin. RESPCT. Find out what it means to me. Well, that's something that you and your daughter need to talk about. What does respect look like for her? What does it mean to her? What does it mean to you? And that's something that you want to make sure that you're conversing with your daughter about. Because if you're saying, for example, if you're saying, yes, she can date, but there's some rules around it, like, for instance, there's a curfew as to when the two of them have to have her back at your house, okay, your home. If they can't respect that rule, then that will tell you something, all right? Or if your daughter, given where she is, maturity level wise, only wants the dating relationship to go a certain place, then that's her boundary. Is that love interest going to respect that or not? That's just something that you and your daughter will need to talk through and communicate about. The third thing that you want to talk with your daughter about is her love interest interested? In essence, is the interest mutually reciprocated between the two? As I think about it, even though I have twin daughters, they are different in their personalities. Their characters are very much similar in that, they're respectful, they, care, they're kind, they're caring individuals, but their personalities are different. And one of our daughters, notice I just said one of our daughters, I didn't say which one, but there was a point in time when she was in high school where I had asked myself, if you listen to the episode prior to this one, I talk about maturity level, mentally and emotionally. There were things that I kind of knew, okay, well, she needs a little growth in that area as it relates to romantic stuff. And so we had ongoing conversations about it. And then at one point she shared with me how she gave a particular gift to this particular person that she had a crush on. And then she shared some more about that it wasn't just the first time she had done that. And I was like, okay. And it harkened back to me where I remembered myself when I was her age. And I thought, wow, I remember doing that. This is what I've learned over the years. How can I now meet her where she is? Okay, not projecting my stuff onto her, but just stepping back and saying, okay, well, let me find out where her heart is on this. And as she shared more, I was able to meet her where she was at that point in time. And it was a difficult conversation to have with her. In the moment, she didn't understand it. When I gave her some pointers of things to look for and or to say and or to test out with that crush person, and then she saw it for herself, then she understood and was able to make adjustments accordingly. So again, the interest being reciprocated is something that you want to have a conversation with your daughter about and make sure that she recognizes that relationships are two ways. The fourth thing that you want to ask your daughter about and engage with her on has to do with actually engagement in key areas. How engaged is that love interest in other areas of their lives? Are they a good student? Are they not? Are they excelling in extracurricular activities? Are they not? What do they occupy their time with? These are the kinds of things that you want to make sure that you're talking with your daughter about and communicating with her about, because research shows that the trajectory of a person's life, you can make a very good prediction of what it might be like just by looking at the 5 people they surround themselves with. So that's something to converse with your daughter about. The fifth thing that you want to have a conversation with your daughter about as it relates to her love interest is to find out what kinds of negative behaviors does that person exhibit or have. Do they blow up? Do they not? Do they have control of their mouth? Do they not? Are they involved in different substances? Are they not? These are the kinds of things that you want to at least ask your daughter, does she know anything about that person's pattern as it relates to negative behaviors, if any exists? And mind you, we're all not perfect. Newsflash, we're not perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not saying anyone needs to be perfect, but at the same time, you want to take stock of, is that a behavior that you want to be surrounded by or want her to be surrounded by, or that she wants to be surrounded by or not? All right. And then lastly, you want to have a discussion about whether or not your daughter knows anything about her love interests, past dating history. Is this person a player? Are they not? Are they on their umpteenth dating relationship? Are they not? What's the reputation, etc.? So these are the kinds of things that you want to talk to your daughter about and have conversation about. Because if she does not know anything about her love interests, family connections, respect for her and your rules, level of reciprocated interest in her, are they engaged in any areas in a positive, proactive, productive way? Do they have any negative behaviors that your daughter doesn't or that you don't want her to be surrounded by? If she doesn't know anything about that person's dating history, then that should send red flags. And then you'll have to have a discussion with her about whether or not you're going to say yes or no, or whether or not she would even agree with you saying yes or no. So that's all I wanted to share with you about that, because it's not just about preparing your daughter within herself and preparing yourself within yourself, but it's also about taking stock of her love interest and knowing what to do about that. Now, if you need any help with any of this, and again, you as a mom are in the greatest leadership position, and great leaders know what they know and what they don't know, and when they will need help or need just some outside input, because another set of eyes can definitely add a perspective that will be of help to you. And that's why I'm here and what I desire to do for and with you in your motherhood journey with your daughter. So if you need any help, definitely set up a no guilt consult with me. Just go to the URL bit.ly/no guilt consult, and I'd be happy to help. And one of the things that you could do to help this podcast is to go onto the platform that you're listening to this podcast on, click the 5 stars in the review section, and just write a shout out about what you got out of this episode or any past episode that you're listening to. Or if you just want to do a shout out, I'd love to hear from you. It also helps other moms get notified about this podcast so that they can partake of the things that we're sharing here today. So that would be a great help. Just go to the URL, click the 5 stars, write a brief review, do a shout out. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, healthy mother-daughter relationships are possible. They just take one curative connection at a time. I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Mother-Daughter Connections with me, your host and mother-daughter relationship personal trainer, Dr. Michelle Deering. Thanks so much for joining me today. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Share this episode with a friend so they don't miss an episode. And download the resource in the show notes. Until next time, remember to pause to consider how you can connect intentionally so you can improve relationally with your daughter.